So let's get ready. So I just want to get ready for the report coming out. So let's prepare ourselves. We'll just go through the normal steps, starting with the economic calendar. Let me just quickly bring that up. So today is the last day of the trading week, Friday, the 5th of February, last day of the trading week. And again, this is GMT plus 2. So we're going to be looking at the timetable, the economic timetable using GMT plus 2. So we've known this since the beginning of the week, excuse me, that we have the big report coming out at 3:30 GMT plus 2, which is 1:30 UK time, which is in less than 15 minutes, 15 minutes time. So we have the Canada unemployment rate, but the main one is the US unemployment rate on the non-farm payrolls. This is a report of huge importance that affects all financial markets. So all financial markets, including the fixed income securities market, all stock exchanges around the world, all commodities, all currency pairs, all markets are affected by this report. So it's a very important report. And there's always a high probability of the markets trending sideways prior to this report. So that's why we avoided trading prior to this report. But now that we're counting down to the report, we're just going to get ready now and have our pending orders in place just in case the market reacts violently when the report is announced. So that's the unemployment rate report. Again, just to remind everyone, it's called the non-farm payrolls because there's a huge farming community in America. So the farmers are excluded from this payroll. So that's why it's non-farm. So basically non-farmers, the farmers are not included. So that's why it's called the non-farm payrolls. But basically just an employment rate for the USA. Okay, so let's get ready. Let's pick the charts up. So initially this morning, the Euro US dollar was trending sideways between these two white lines. But you can see where the moving average broke. Sorry, I'm mixing up my terms today. All right, so like I said, let me start again and get my terminologies correct. So like I said, this morning, when I first assessed the Euro US dollar was trending sideways between these two white lines, but you can see where the market has broken the sideways trend. So this sideways trend is no longer relevant because it's broken the sideways trend there, from the high, a low, a high, but you can see it did not form a further high and then it went down. So it wasn't trending up. So it went down and again, it didn't form another low. So it wasn't trending up or trending down. So it's now gone up again from the high there, a low, a high, and then it's falling back down again. So we just take all this as a sideways trend. So that would be the high point of the sideways trend there. So the high there is 1.1993. So I'll just adjust the lines. 1.1993 for the high. And that's the low point there. That candlestick, the low there is 1.1968. 1.1968. So that's the new sideways trend, and we can see clearly now that the pivot point is within the sideways trend. So at the moment, the only points of entry we have in the market is to either buy just above R1 or sell below S1 because the pivot point is within the sideways trend. And you can see the market itself hasn't formed the market resistance yet or market support yet. So the only opportunities we have is to place a pending buy order just above R1 and a pending sell order just below S1. And we'll do that in about 5 minutes time. Like I said, I like to place my orders 5 minutes or even less before the report is announced. but at least I know clearly where I'm going to be placing my pending orders. You can see that the entry points to the market is quite far away from where the market is now. So we can actually place the pending orders now because it's quite far away from where the market is. Like I say, ideally, I wait till about a couple of minutes before the report is announced. But you can see where the market is compared to the R1 and S1. It's quite a distance. So I'll go ahead and do just that. So S1 is 1.1934. Well, 35 if you round it up, because the fifth digit there is 6. So 1935, 2 pips below that.
Sorry, Remy.
Oops, yes, go ahead.
I have the CMC market. Would that be the same because they're
No.
2 hours ahead?
No, they're different. They're different. So you just use your.
That's the problem I'm having with the platform.
There's no problem. Like I told you before, this is the same with. This is my FX Primers platform, which is more or less similar to your CMC. I always say use your own parameters. So when I place my trade on this FX Primers platform, you can see my S1 here is 1.1930. So
yes, that's not what I was saying. I'm saying the same. What's it called? The same news coming out will affect a 2 hour ahead platform.
No. They are two separate things. So, so for example, now if you are based in America,
yes,
you'll be in a completely different time zone.
That's correct.
So if you are based in Asia, you're in a complete different time zone. But the report is still coming out at 1:30, regardless of wherever you are.
Yes, that's what I wanted to confirm.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Exactly. In fact, that is actually why when we said about making sure you use the correct time zone, because again, for example, now I'm in Rwanda. So I'm trading now, it's 3:30 in Rwanda now, but it's 1:30 in UK.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. But yes, just for everyone, like I say, always use your parameters on your own platform. So let me go back to IG. So 2 pips below that to be 1.1933. Actually, it's almost 5 minutes to go now, so let's do it. 1.1933. 2 pips below that. So stop loss 20 pips, 1.1953. And then 20 pips, sorry, 60 pips profit limit. Let me get my calculator out. So that's 1933 minus 60. So that's 1873. 1.1873. Okay. So that's stop loss. Sorry, the sell order, pending sell order, 2 pips just below S1, 20 pips stop loss, 60 pips profit limit. And let's do the buy. So that's 2 pips above R1. R1 is 1.2020. So that's actually straightforward. So 1.2020. Sorry, 2 pips. So 2022. Stop loss will be 20 pips below 1.2002. And 60 pips profit limit 1.2082. So 60 plus 22, that's 82. There we go. So I'm all set. Let me just do the same here on the other platform. On my other platform, there we go. So that's 1618. So 1618, 1.2018. 20 pips stop loss, 2018 minus 20. So 1998, 1.1998. 60 pips, 1.2078. And sell 1929. 1.1929, 1.1949, and 60 pips profit limit be 1929 minus 60. 1929 minus 60. 1869. 1869. And for pound dollar, that's 3642. Oops, 3642. 1.3642. 1.364562. Okay. Actually, let me show you. This is on the this is the pound dollar. You can see this is what happened yesterday when the UK interest rate decision was announced. So obviously, being the pound dollar, it reacted, and this was immediately the report came out. Immediately report came out, the market just took off. So this is why you want to get ready before the report comes out, because immediately that report came out yesterday, the UK interest rate decision, the market just jumped up and started going up. So sometimes if you wait, if you're waiting for the reports to be announced before you place your orders, you could potentially miss a trade, because you can see this is what happened the minute the UK interest rate decision was announced. It just took off. Okay, let's get back to IG. So any questions? The report's going to be announced shortly. So any questions? If you have any questions.
I missed that yesterday.
Oh,
I actually missed that, yeah.
Okay, oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, because I got involved in something and I completely forgot. And by the time I got back to my computer, it had just gone. So
yes.
I put in a sell order, but it didn't take it.
Oh yeah, it's gone. It is gone.
Yes.
In fact, I'm happy you said that, because this is the experience sometimes you get. Like I said at the beginning of this session, that the market doesn't wait for anyone. The report is going to be said at that time. So if you're not there, you miss it. So I think with time, you learn to make sure that once the report is around the time of report, you make sure there's no distraction. Because yes, that too tended to happen to me when I first started trading. I will forget there's a report coming out, you go back to your desk, you see you've missed it, and I think after you miss some moves like that, it's so painful that I make sure I never miss it again. Okay, so the report has been announced, so you can see like I said, so that's, but I mean, we've made up our own minds where we're going to trade. So we'll let the market decide what it wants to do. But the report has been announced. The market seems to be reacting positively to it. So if it continues to go up, well, we've got to buy order just above R1 to catch it. If it turns around suddenly and continues to fall, we've got to sell order just below S1. So until it takes one of the orders, we'll wait and see. Any questions while we're waiting for the market to decide what it wants to do? We'll give it another couple of minutes and then we'll end the session and then carry on. We'll carry on updating you on the platform. So any questions while we wait to give it a couple of minutes? The other thing that might happen, of course, this is the last day of the trading week. There are no more reports to be announced. So potentially, but again, we can follow up on the platform. because if the market, you can now see, is broken this sideways trend. So really this sideways trend is really no use anymore. So let's remove that because it's been broken. Now, but you can see you can't sell below the pivot point yet because the moving average is below the pivot point. You have to wait for the moving average to be above the pivot point before you can sell below the moving average, below the pivot point. So potentially, and again, like I said, we'll update you on the platform. If the market goes up, breaks R1, and will lose out on this first trade, if the moving average has moved above the pivot point by then you could potentially move your sell order to just below the pivot point. But again, because at the moment, the moving average is below the pivot point, like I said, you always want to sell below the moving average and buy above the moving average. So the only place you can sell at the moment below the moving average is S1. But later on, if the market moves, the moving average moves above the pivot point, you can then potentially use that as a potential sell entry point. But like I said, we'll see, we'll update you on the platform if that scenario presents itself. But for now, it's just a buy above R1 and a sell below S1. All right, any questions before we go for lunch? And I go and get ready for my guest. Okay, good. So if there are no questions, I wish you all a wonderful afternoon. Of course, I'll post the recording on the platform as usual. And like I said, depending on what happens, I'll also update you as it goes by. So have a good afternoon, everyone. Enjoy your lunch and also have a good weekend. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy your weekend and keep safe.